So now there's a firm diagnosis. When you shared this with your colleagues, when you shared this with your friends, what kind of reaction did you get?
Well, I I called an all attendance required meeting for all of the emergency medicine residents, and there were a ton of faculty there and the support staff and so forth. My own the residency leadership team that I ran, I told them first, of course. And they're like, ah, that explains it. But, and I actually sort of had a reputation that I only call an all attendance required meeting for the residents when there was a very serious issue, usually a problem with them, an issue that needed to be dealt with to make sure that things were taken care of properly. Never previously a problem with me. I just thought it's best to be honest and open, and I shouldn't have to be embarrassed about this. It's a disease. I was embarrassed initially, even though it makes no sense whatsoever. Because people look at me and they can't imagine that somebody, can look healthy and have a problem.
So have you talked with friends about the fact that you're having memory issues?
Sure.
And how did they respond?
They're fine. They're good people.
Okay.
And nobody dumped me or anything like that.
It happened.
I can imagine.
Has anyone treated you not the way you wish to be treated after they found out that something's going on?
Not at all. Everybody's been kind beyond imagination. I've not had any problem, and I'm not ashamed of it or anything like that.
Have you shared your diagnosis with friends, with family?
Yeah. And with some friends, yes.
Has anyone treated you differently because of it?
More attentive.
Okay.
My sons particularly.
Okay.
And they were attentive to start with, so.
Yeah.
I have one son that calls every night just to check to see how I'm doing. But the people that we were closer to, we felt they should know, that they would be annoyed if they found out from somebody else.
Yes, I have shared it with friends and family, and they have treated me differently in that, to a person, they've made sure that I understand that they're available for anything. I mean, I consider myself extremely fortunate. So pick up the phone and call me or whatever. Now, if I didn't have their support, continued with the support of Linda, I would be in deep trouble.
So you haven't run into the situation where you tell someone you have Alzheimer's and they're an old friend and then they just stop calling or they don't come around?
Absolutely not.
Good.
And if that did happen, it would really be a very negative in my life.
Yeah.
If I couldn't anymore count on someone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, the response we have received.
Yeah, because just like with our the manager of our golf club, when I went to him and I laid it right on the line, told him what the situation was and so forth, and I said the reason I'm doing this is because I deal with people here who are taking care of the golf clubs, putting this and out, doing this and that, serving meals and so forth. And I said, I want you to know, at any point, if you ever hear me say or do something that is derogatory, I want you to come to me immediately and say, Bud, I've got something important I need to talk to you about. Could I interrupt you for a second? Let's go back to my office. And he promised me that that's what he would do. And so far, we haven't had the problem.
Yeah.
But it's an understanding between the two of us. But that's the way, because I can, if he says, Bud, why don't we go back to my office and we can talk about this or something like that, I'm fine. But so far, it hasn't been needed.
Well, for a while when we first realized we had something pretty bad to deal with, we didn't even go to the dining room. We ordered our food in and had it at home. And after a relatively short time, we realized, well, you know, Ramona's being punished on this thing too.
I want to be comfortable in telling people what I've got, but people don't know how to handle it. And some people, you know, just they sort of leave your life. They don't want to be involved just because they don't know how to react, or, well, you know. And I'm doing pretty darn well. I mean, I've got issues. My wife will tell you that. And there are certain things which are, you know, much tougher than others, but I'm doing pretty well. I just, you know, decided that I can't control how they respond to me. I can only control how I do things. I don't want to be known as a guy with Alzheimer's. I mean, that's not my desire. So I would like to do things that help others with the problem. That's why I'm willing to do this.
I think the public at large would just as soon never hear anything about it, because everybody knows there but for the grace of God go I. And that's the truth of it.